What up, Sports Nation? Now, as Rob just said, everybody's doing fine. I know I am, and I sure hope you are. If you guys don't know Scott Woodcock, associate head coach over at Maine University, you should and you need to. I love this guy. Just so you guys all know that, and you're going to have as much fun as I'm going to in a minute here because I'm going to start spewing out questions. And Scott, how are you, sir?
Outstanding. Thank you guys for having me on.
Hey, not a problem. So you were at if I remember correctly, an NAIA, and you took the jump up to D1. How has that transition been for you?
At first it was a little different, trying to learn all the rules with NCAA and whatnot. But this has been so great. Really, Maine is a hidden gem. I think a lot of people aren't really aware of the state itself and what it has to offer. And the program, I think we're headed for some really good things.
Nice. And I got to bring this up because you said it in a post. You guys have electricity. You guys have lights. You guys have. So yes, they do, folks. Let me tell you. And actually, their field is pretty sweet. I was watching some games last year. It's a pretty sick field. I like it.
Yeah, we actually have it. We have a brand new stadium being built right now with a turf surface. It's in the process. We're practicing at a local high school, making it work. Really, really excited. I think we're just maybe a couple of months away from being able to, start working inside the pavilion, which is attached to it. And so, it's really exciting. So they'll have to come out and check us, out next year on a brand new stadium. So it's exciting.
Oh God, yeah, definitely.
Beautiful, beautiful state.
Yeah, it's
gorgeous. It's back to the way it really should be.
Yeah.
So
yeah, as you mentioned, we got running water, electricity. I bumped into a guy recruiting this summer, and he said, Maine has softball, and I said, yeah, we have bats and uniforms and everything. Pulled out the old Jake line from Major League. So yeah, there's a lot of things up here, and people really need to come check it out. Of course, it's seasonal. So you get they call them leaf peepers. That's new to me. When the leaves start to change.
Yeah,
really beautiful because 90% of the state is covered in trees. And then you've got whale watching season and blueberry season, lobster season. It's really amazing. Come check it out.
Definitely. Maine, we're gonna have to do there.
Yeah,
definitely. So I like to talk about mindset, and
you sure do.
Zip it, Noonan. And with the mindset, talking with you in the past and doing recruiting with you in the past, I always noticed that you always had a focus on helping young ball players get better. And that's just at the camps that we worked. And you have such a laid back style that going to the D1, how was that transition worked for you?
Wow, great question. I appreciate the compliment. I think development is a huge part of the game, but if you take that a step back, my demeanor, my personality is, conducive to the ones I surround myself with. I think I really try to, really connect with the kids and, let them know that, yes, we're college coaches, but, we're human. And while I have a title as your coach, I'm part of your team. So, I want to work together with them and just develop and get better. But, at the end of the day, it's a beautiful game. And when it's played right, it's really amazing. So just kind of bringing them along, if you can cut steps or transition a little better, or work on some deflection or something that just makes the game that much better. That's what it's always been about for me.
This is something that's kind of stuck with me, is you said this just when we were kind of chatting one day, a group of us, you said, we're building character in young ball players. We're not just building ball players. And today that's always stuck with me. And the way that you said it, when you're recruiting a ball player, what type of character would you say you're looking for?
Wow. I mean, obviously, you want kids with a strong work ethic and whatnot, but you need selfless kids. You need kids that know that, the game is just much bigger than themselves. So, we kind of live in a world in this sport that there's a lot of individualized stats, and I appreciate the kids who, really pay attention to those and are trying to better themselves. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a full team striving for those same good stats, it's all a moot point. So part of that character is just being selfless and all about the game and their team. um and then of course you're looking for the kids that, I mean, let's face it, the generations have changed a little bit. Kids these days, they come off a little more entitled at times. And the world doesn't owe them anything. We've all worked for what we have and gotten to where we are because of our hard work, and that's what it takes in the world. So, we really, try to send that message, and treat our kids like adults, and really hold them accountable to be who they are. One thing about Maine, I'll take it a step further. I know we're kind of talking about character, but we really encourage the kids to major in whatever they'd like to major in, because we also understand that there's life after the game. So if it takes a few extra hours of makeup practice for a nursing kid because she's missing practice due to clinicals, that's what it takes. So those kids that want to do big things in life, want to work hard and are selfless, that's really the character that we're looking for. And I think any coach will say the same thing.
Nice. And for a lot of folks out there, nursing school is a very big thing around the country, but it's difficult to balance both softball, baseball, any sport, and nursing due to the high curriculum, second, if I can say it, curriculum. And not only that, but the clinicals as well. And people just don't realize um the commitment that has to go into both.
Yeah,
Thanks, Chris.
100%.
Right.
We have Maine's really big on engineering, and those are tough majors for kids, so we encourage them to do it. We work with them as much as we can, get them tutoring or mentoring, whatever it takes to make
Oh,
them
no.
quality people when they leave here.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Um, Sorry, I'm on a roll, so you're
Keep
gonna have
going.
to stand by.
That's all right. I'll take over in a
So
sec.
something I always like to do in practice was make it uncomfortable so they learn how to make things comfortable. Well, how do you make the uncomfortable comfortable for your ball players?
So, and we came up against it just today in practice. We've got 6 freshmen, 2 transfers that have joined us this year, and I tend to hit them pretty hard and make them have to work for their forehand side, backhand side stuff. That requires laying out from time to time, and the newer ones are really kind of starting to get a taste of that, and I'm not hitting as hard as normal. But I told them today in practice, look, if I'm just hitting routine ground balls to you, are you getting better? We want to challenge you. We want to make this tough for you. We want you to get better. We work a lot of fundamental stuff. I'm big on fundamentals. I believe that the better you are at the easy things, the easier the harder things become. But then, on top of it, we do a lot of unorthodox type drills. Our outfielders do a lot of frisbee work. They're great for tracking down balls and making cuts. Because frisbees don't just fly straight all the time. And then make them catch with their glove hand. We do a lot of unorthodox timing stuff with hitters where they're turned away from the front tosser, and we're verbalizing things to them. So to keep things uncomfortable for them and develop them at the same time, it's necessary to get creative sometimes with stuff like that.
I love it. That's a great answer. Thank you.
I actually want to go back on one thing because you joked about, we have one running water and we have lights. But when you have recruits and they actually come and visit and stuff, what is the biggest wow that they seem to get by visiting campus and seeing the program that you have?
Great question. The University of Maine, unlike a lot of D1 programs that are kind of scattered around town, if you will, it's all in one setting on the same acreage. So you can, walk from one end of campus in, 20, 25 minutes, but it's all in one place. You're not passing by, Johnny's sub shop on the way and, things like that. That's usually a pretty good wow. The campus is, the way it's designed, all the athletics are on one end and they're stacked. It starts from hockey at the front end and football, baseball, soccer, field hockey, softball, they're all kind of stacked. But one of the biggest things is we're a New Balance school. New Balance has poured a lot of money into the university here, the field house, the rec center here on campus, with all of our colors. And these are great colors. It really pops, and that's always a big wow factor too, the New Balance field house and such.
Nice. I like it. I like the colors of Maine. And I mean, come on, the Black Bears, that's a pretty sick mascot as well. Let's be honest.
It's got a scary logo.
I know. I like it.
Yeah. And we also have Fisher cats up here too. So that's a pretty tough looking, like, mean ferret thing that I recently discovered. So
that's awesome.
Oh, okay, hold on.
How did you discover it, right?
Exactly. How did you discover that?
So our strength coach has one that apparently lives around his house somewhere. So you'll have to Google them when we get off of here. They're
I'm going to.
Oh,
they're
that's
as big as like a German Shepherd or something. So
wow, that's crazy.
all right. I got to go right for my question here.
All right.
Is we haven't asked in a while, and this is perfect because coaches are the best for this. What, as a coach, are your superstitions?
Oh, wow. I have a lot of them actually. I don't know that I want to divulge too much, but back in the day it was, the same socks and things like that. As I've gotten older, I've got a little countdown. I've got a little process I do. There's always prayer involved. So yes, a lot of superstition. Some of it is, part of the culture that we have here at Maine. So, a certain chant or, something like that. So I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, but
all right, that's fair. I get it.
I'm good with that.
Superstition.
I mean,
not to give it away. But
you might think I'm under medicated if I tell you. And
we already know you are. It's okay. You're dealing with us.
That's probably fair.
Tell me a little bit more about the difference of the culture there at Maine. Because you have different cultures at different sports. What do you guys really try to bring that's different?
Our culture is I want to say loose, but it's more on the accountable side of things. We really want our student athletes to own the process. For example, as hitters, I really get them focused on going 1 for 1 each at bat. They get in their head. At the end of the day, they're looking at, well, I went 1 for 4. Well, you went 1 for 1 one time. We just got to fix the others. And so we get them out of their head. So part of the culture here is really getting them to, own it themselves. And we get, last night I stayed an hour and a half after practice for those that wanted to work extra. So it's about, kind of putting it on them to, really just kind of embrace everything in their own way. And then, a lot of it is just open and honest communication. And, obviously part of being accountable and being the adult, but when you have open and honest communication, it really goes a long way. When I really understand that one of my athletes is sore, we can adjust practice plan. We can adjust their strength training. We can, get our AT to give them a little extra attention. And that's just one example. It feeds into the classroom. The kids stop in here, quite often kind of plop down on the big chair that's, on the other side here. And, they'll spill a lot of stuff, and they know that, this is a safe place. We have open and honest communication that doesn't get shared. And, it's the type of culture that really induces trust, in one another. And I think we have a lot of that.
Nice. I like that you bring up accountability, and I don't think that's brought up enough to young ball players and to us coaches. And I think that that's got to be one of the top 3 keys out there. Keeping yourself accountable as a coach, which is keeping the young ball players accountable, which is keeping the team in general accountable, right?
Yeah, and it all starts, from the example that's given, to the example being anyone or anything. And that's a big part of it also. But
Yeah.
our kids, they really kind of embrace things. I think they appreciate the fact that, I refer to them as kids because I've become an old man in this game, but they're all like my own daughters, and I love them that way, and they know that. But when you pour the love into them and really show them that you care, they'll do whatever they have to do, to try to make you proud, that kind of thing. And that's the way our kids are with accountability. They don't want to do anything that impacts their teammates and not just themselves. And we remind them long weekends, make good decisions this weekend, and remember, if you do that, what are your teammates going to say? What are your coaches going to say? Is that something that you want to talk to your coaches about? And so I think they appreciate the fact that we treat them, with that level of respect. Although, many of them are young adults, kids, if you will.
Yeah. No, I like it.
Let me ask you this, because I think this might actually be pretty
Why
important.
don't you go ahead, do it?
Yeah. Being up there in Maine, and obviously the recruiting process is a little, you're further out and stuff like that. But in sales, people buy because they like you, right? It's you that they buy from. I think that's a lot in coaching as well. So what got you into softball yourself, and why did you go to this path?
Well, I grew up in the game. My dad played high level men's, also coached women's for a long time. I traveled all over the world with him. I've been all over Europe and whatnot as a bat boy, 6, 7 years old. And then, I was fortunate enough to have daughters that, kept me involved on this side. I had some mentors early on that taught me kind of the differences between baseball and softball, like strategically, technically. And I just fell in love with with the game that way. As far as like what we have, going up here and the path that led me up here. I mean, it's Maine. It's an amazing opportunity. And, it's when I'm out recruiting, you mentioned the salesperson side, and, essentially that's what you have to do. And many times the coach is the first impression that the kid ever gets on the school. But I'm very open with the kids. Look, I'm happy-go-lucky when I'm here with you right now, and believe me, we have a ton of fun when we're practicing. But between the lines, if this is the smiling face that you'd like to see all the time, that's not the way it is. I go into game mode. I'm a competitor, and we have to be able to flip that switch and whatnot. So, that's all part of the evolution, I think.
Yeah, it's not all sunshine and roses, but maybe that's what they want to hear from you.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. So
yeah, I think I try to be open and honest with them from the beginning. If I lose a recruit to someone, and and I want them to go where they fit. No coach wants to, get a kid that isn't happy there, thinks that they made a mistake. And so, we always encourage the kids to, look at other programs and whatnot. But I always tell them, if they end up going somewhere else, like, don't play me. I will do everything I can to beat you. And, most of them laugh, and that's the way it's intended. But you know, you want to compete against them, and you want them to know that you have that side to yourself, you know, that when you're on the field, you're competing. It's not all, you know, like you said, sunshine and roses. So
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly, man. We're gonna see you out this way this fall.
yeah, I'll probably get out there one time in November.
Okay.
That was an adjustment coming D1. I only have 6 weeks to recruit, Saturday and Sundays only in the fall. So we try to make the best of them.
Wow.
Wow. That
But we have a lot of West Coast kids, and you know, we've got
Yeah.
several California kids on roster, a couple Arizona kids, a couple of Colorado kids, and
Good
you
softball.
know,
oh yeah.
we you know, are trying to develop a bigger footprint on the recruiting path, and that requires, you know, getting out there and being seen, and you know, stuff like this helps. You know, if I'm being honest, you know, we want the exposure just as much as you guys do, so it's a win-win, you know.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Well, I would have never known they had a softball team
Well, yeah.
at all. Yeah.
You didn't even know there was a state up there.
I
What
knew
are
there
you
was a
talking
state.
about? Scott, I got to tell you what, man. Like always good talking with you. We greatly appreciate you coming on the show today.
Yeah.
You know, any last words from you, sir?
What is
No,
it?
I appreciate you guys having me on. Like I said, it's a win-win, and you know, it's a great opportunity for Maine softball, and you've known me a long time. You know, anytime that we can talk about the game, you know, I'm all about it. So
Heck yeah, you know it.
Right on.
So, hey, from all of us here at What Up Sports Nation, you guys have a great day, a better
All right.
tomorrow. Scott, thank you. What up, everybody?